welcome back to Wisconsin Weather Experts. It is Tuesday, May 20th. Very, very rainy, and that's going to be the big story, not just today, but also tomorrow, at least locally here in southeast Wisconsin and the state as a whole.
Might not dry up till like middle of the day on Thursday.
Right.
We've got some really soggy conditions ahead. The other challenge, of course, is the wind. The
Yes.
wind has been very, very strong, making for some very choppy conditions out on Lake Michigan. And we have meteorologist Lisa Michaels out in our brand new Storm Chaser truck this afternoon now, I guess. How's it going out there?
Well, you know, it doesn't look too much different from this morning. The rain is out here. We have the windshield wipers going at full strength, and I'm actually going to flip things around for you because we are at Bradford Beach. Of course, you can barely make out the skyline of Milwaukee down there. The heavy rain has reduced visibility, and take a look at the waves. We have nothing but white caps. Kale and I are in the car, and we are thinking maybe 4 or 5 foot waves at least. And yes, these are strong. So they've been coming in, hitting the rocks. Again, we are continuing to track no one on the beach. Probably not the best beach day, but these waves certainly are quite a show if you are going to be heading downtown. Now, not only are we tracking, again, very choppy waters, of course, this is one of the problems that we're dealing with as we've been tracking stories along the lakeshore is the erosion. So when we start to get stronger waves like this is eroding portions of the lakeshore here, not only in Lake Michigan, but other surrounding lakes. The rocks certainly going to help. One other thing we're checking out, though, is take a look at the camera under our wheel. We have a pool of water. So not only, again, is that rain coming down, it's a moderate to heavy rain at times. So that is going to continue to accumulate on surfaces with quite a bit of rain in store for southern portions of the state today. And not only that, but again, we're talking about those strong winds. So windy conditions is going to continue to reduce the visibility. Again, I'm going to see if I can zoom in a little bit more so here to downtown. As we see those choppy waters, we're really going to start to see not only that flag in the distance there, but that flag is going to be blowing all day long. And again, not great visibility of the skyline at all. Winds within itself could be up to 40 miles per hour in terms of our gusts. So not the best beach day, but really spectacular to see some of the choppy waters out here down by the lakefront.
Yeah, great use of all the different cameras on the truck there. And of course, you've got some of the latest weather monitoring gear there as well.
Yes.
Basically a portable weather monitoring station, so you'll be able to give us some updates on wind gusts and things like that coming up in just a bit. Thank you so much, Lisa. We'll check back in one more time before the end of the show.
Yes.
So a challenging day, obviously. Not everybody gets to drive in the tricked out weather truck, right, where we've got all the toys and all the ways to stay safe.
Yeah.
So do please give yourself that extra time and space, and if you can just skip out on being out there today. You know, a lot of folks have that remote option now. Do take that option today.
Good day to utilize that. By the time we're all said and done, we could pick up over an inch of rain today.
Right.
No thunderstorms, though. No severe weather.
Yeah, we're not going to see any severe weather. Maybe an embedded rumble with this, but again, nothing in that category. But we've had quite a bit of that lately. In fact, we just got an update in to the point where it was so recent that we have to update this graphic again after the show. But let's go through the recap anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. So as of yesterday, the National Weather Service added another tornado to Dodge County. So as of yesterday, we were up to 5. And as Rob mentioned, just before this show started, we got confirmation of yet another tornado, this one in Theresa or near Theresa in Dodge County. So that does make it now 6 confirmed tornadoes in Dodge County.
Wow.
That
Very
one.
hard-hit county.
Absolutely. That one an EF1 tornado, and you can see elsewhere on the map, we've got Lamira that was an EF1, Mayville an EF2, north of Juneau an EF1, Juneau in EF2, and then the one as of yesterday, EF1 in Lowell. And as we continue to go through the list here, there was actually another tornado that was confirmed west of our viewing area. So now, again, this says 7 as of yesterday. Now it will be 8 total across south central and southeastern Wisconsin. But a new one out west, an EFU in Portage. Okay, and you're probably thinking to yourself, what on earth is an EFU tornado? We don't hear it too often, but just a quick explainer for you. It's just EF unknown. So it is a rating on the enhanced Fujita scale. These are actually the best types of tornadoes, Rob, because they have video confirmation of a tornado touching the ground, but no damage. A lot of times these are, touching down in an open field, so they don't really impact anybody. But again, that's now, 8 tornadoes between south central and southeastern Wisconsin. And as a state, for this event, I believe we're up to 21 now. But there was so much damage. The National Weather Service, I mean, we're still getting reports right now, so it's very possible we see additional reports, not just here locally, but elsewhere across the other branches.
And even outside of the tornadoes, which in and of themselves are pretty strong, EF1s, EF2s in a couple of cases, which are pretty strong for Wisconsin. We also had, massive trees down in Racine and Oak Creek and many other spots that may have not been a tornado, but we had significant wind damage, hail, rain. So it's been a very, very busy week, but there's always something to look forward to, like the sunrise pics that we got this morning.
This morning, incredible.
Yeah, very, very pretty. This is from Anne, and you see this gorgeous rainbow in the kind of red sky of that morning sunrise, because we did have some light rain this morning as well. And you almost don't even get the full color spectrum with that rainbow. It's almost more like that fog bow you showed before, but with red as being the dominant color as that sun comes up.
Yeah, it is a really fascinating view, because if you do look very closely, you are primarily seeing red. I mean, I think there are a few other colors in there, but you got to look really, really close. But what's that saying? Red sky in the morning, sailors take warning. Prime example today.
Yeah, and that does hold up. I mean, it's not always something that, that you can live by, but, back in the day when we didn't have satellites and everything else, it was a pretty good heads up, because that thin cloud comes ahead of the major low that then delivers the rain. Of course, now we're deep into the rain, and so let's kick off our big picture here with all this wet stuff.
A lot to talk about, and not just here locally, but there's another severe threat down towards the south today. And I know we didn't really recap it just yet, but last night, Oklahoma and Kansas picked up a lot of thunderstorm activity, or saw a lot of thunderstorm activity, including tornadoes. Now here, the rain is coming down across southeast Wisconsin. Look at this band that you can see. Fond du Lac, northern Dodge County, down into about West Bend and southern Ozaukee County. It is still here at the station too in Brown Deer. It's a heavy rain falling. Let's see. Wow, we are over 0.6 of an inch of rainfall. If you were watching the beginning of the 11, we were just over 0.3 of an inch of rainfall. So we're picking it up really, really quickly because this rain is heavy. You can also see a heavier batch of rain towards Racine, right near the lakeshore, right on the border of Racine as well as Kenosha County. The bigger picture across the state, now this band does continue to lift northward. So eventually here, central and northern Wisconsin will get in on some of these heavier pockets of rain. Down towards the south in Illinois, I know it looks like it's drying out. We're still expecting to see a little bit more development as the day goes on. That too will continue to lift northward. So we're still expecting rain showers here in southeast Wisconsin, most of the state of Wisconsin through the rest of today. Maybe a break overnight tonight, but then the wraparound moisture on the backside of the low pressure system then expected on Wednesday. Now the low itself is still out over Iowa. You can see the stationary boundary crossed right across central Illinois. It will eventually begin to lift northward a little bit and then start to push off towards the east. But once again, you can still see a lot of moisture associated with this storm pressure or this storm system. And then down towards the south, there are still some hefty storms, we'll say from Cincinnati down through about Nashville and southern Tennessee. As of last check, there are still a couple of warnings. I've been watching this. It hasn't been as prevalent as what we saw, late last night and yesterday, but still we've had a handful of severe thunderstorm warnings in these areas pretty much all morning long. You can see one right on the border there of southern Kentucky and northern Tennessee. And it looks like also, far northwest Alabama and right on the border of Tennessee there, an active tornado warning. So these are still strong storms as we head into our midday hours. And this is exactly where the severe threat is today. Yesterday, it was out west a little bit more. We talked about Kansas as well as Oklahoma seeing numerous tornado warnings and tornado reports. So now it's just shifting eastward. Now the slight and marginal, really just south of us in Illinois, that will not be expanded into our area. Really watching some of these more southern states, Kentucky, Tennessee, and the northern portions of our Gulf Coast states. Now, storm reports, I just put tornado reports on here. Notice how many there were out west yesterday. So tornadoes do remain a possibility just east today under again, those spots that were under that convective risk. As we look out west and down towards the south, this is the big system across the U.S. right now. It's fairly quiet out west. So once we get through this, the rest of the week on into the weekend, actually looking pretty good. Temps are going to take their time warming up, but we're looking pretty good. Now, as for the rest of today, this rain's going to continue to lift northward. Later on tonight, we could see a little bit of a break or rain showers becoming just a bit more scattered. Then the rain fills back in Wednesday, but start to move towards the south and east later Wednesday evening. Could still see a few lingering light showers Thursday morning, but it does look likely that most of it will be out of here at least by later Thursday afternoon. Could see some decent rainfall totals out of this as well. I mean, we're already in some spots closing in on a 1/2 inch and 3/4 of an inch of rain. So by Wednesday, we could see some spots between an inch and maybe even an inch and a half of rainfall. So very beneficial rain, especially for southern Wisconsin, the spots that are still under a little bit of a drought conditions, especially down towards the south. Here's a look at some of our rainfall totals. Milwaukee jumped to just over 6/10 of an inch with that heavy band. Same with Racine and Watertown. Northern communities, not quite yet seeing that, but you guys too will eventually see those rainfall totals jumping. Because of the rain, it's going to be a chilly day. Most of the state, 40s, low 50s. These are early spring-like temperatures. These are chilly for this time of year. And as Rob mentioned earlier, the wind is going to remain pretty strong today as well. So we're going to feel a little bit cooler. Now, as we look ahead, temperatures are still going to be slow to climb. But once we see sunshine returning to the forecast late week and over the weekend, we should see those temperatures inland climbing to 60s. And Memorial Day itself does look like everybody should be back to 60s.
Yeah, even 60s with some sunshine will feel pretty good for the Memorial Day weekend, even though we'd all love to have some 70s and some sunshine. I was just taking a look at our weather bug, our local weather station here. Looks like we're working on just shy of 7/10 of an inch.
Yeah,
so
it's really coming down.
It has been really coming down for quite a bit. Now, I know it's pretty common these days to watch shows like this with captions on. If you have captions on, I want you to turn them off and turn the sound up, because you will not get the full effect of this next clip if you can't hear it. Okay, you good to go? Check out what we caught on video. This is a lightning strike on a police cruiser. Turn the sound up. Yeah, Newcastle, Oklahoma. So the strike happened on Monday evening. Strong storms were moving across parts of the state. And unfortunately, nobody heard here. Newcastle Emergency Management confirming that's an empty cruiser. But it almost looks like it was, targeted by some sort of blast, like man-made blast, because it just hits perfectly in the center of the rooftop.
And that's what it sounds like too.
Unbelievable sound there. So hopefully you got to hear that. You got the captions off in time. If not, rewind. It'll be on.
There
Fox
you go.
Local
You can keep watching it over and over.
I mean, been doing this for a few minutes. I've seen a lot of video of crazy things caught on camera. Very few of them, when I play it before it goes on the air, make me go, whoa!
Yeah,
and that's
agreed.
Exactly what my reaction was today.
Pretty incredible footage there.
That was wild.
Well, we have a lot more to talk about, including more tornado damage, unfortunately, from down south. We'll also check in with Lisa one more time in the live truck. For now, a live look outside of our dreary weather today in Milwaukee. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, everybody. It is so rainy today across Milwaukee and much of the state of Wisconsin. We are going to check in with meteorologist Lisa Michaels again, who is out in our live truck. Lisa, where are you at now? And I'm assuming it looks the exact same as earlier.
Yeah, it's very similar. We're at Lakeshore State Park, so right behind the Summerfest grounds. And while we had very choppy waters just north of Veterans Park, we have a similar view, but we decided to move a little bit further south near the break wall, where you can clearly see those very tall waves there splashing over the break wall. And again, that's what the break wall is there for, to kind of keep those waters a little bit calmer near the shoreline. We were driving, and believe it or not, we had a wind gust recorded at 49.2 miles an hour. So we have been talking about those winds gusting to the 40-mile-per-hour range today, and there certainly is still the possibility of some isolated stronger gusts. That's typically what we would have for a wind advisory, but again, while we don't have one issued, we are still going to be talking about those stronger wind gusts today. Certainly not a day you want to be on the water. Temperature out here is 43.1 degrees, and we are continuing to track at least the strong rain moving in. We have a slight lull to light activity in the rain showers right now. More of that will be picking up as we have a second wave moving in from south to north. And the rain is going to be a big impact, because with those strong winds, like I said, we've been seeing some gusts 40 to 50 miles an hour. That is going to really reduce the visibility out here. We've been driving through some pretty significant puddles on the roadway as well. Again, not too many people enjoying the lakeshore today. The waves are very choppy. We've been having a lot of white caps out here, and I think it's good that people are off the water. Still, though, it is a really cool sight to see as we have these extremely choppy waves moving inland. Right now, yes, those winds are coming more east to northeast. We have winds right now ranging from about 10 to 15 miles an hour, but it's really when those stronger gusts hit that we do have a bigger impact near the lakeshore.
Or wind gusts even inside the car. And for those who are just tuning in, this is our brand new live truck that's completely equipped with a full weather station, so Lisa's able to take readings of those wind gusts and those wind speeds and things like that. And Lisa, you make a really good point. I'm happy that there are no people down there, because sometimes that wave action will attract photographers and gets a bit of a crowd going, but it is very unsafe to be anywhere near the water, and certainly not on the water today.
Yeah, especially when we have that lake breeze too.
Yeah, for sure. All right, thank you so much.
It really is.
Appreciate that, and thanks for the amazing pictures. Drive safely back to the station. Watch out for some of the puddles out there for sure. And the ponding, even when it's minor, like what Lisa was saying here, it's not huge flooding issues. It can be just enough, right? A little hydroplaning, you lose control. The wind maybe blows you into the wrong lane there. So again, heads up with that for today.
Yes.
A much more intense situation on the other side of the planet, basically.
Yeah, we're talking about an extreme rock slide right now in Taiwan. This is pretty incredible footage here. If you wait and just look at that, that is so scary.
Yeah.
So clearly, dramatic video captures the moments cars just barely avoid being crushed by a huge falling boulders on a Taiwanese mountain pass. One person was rescued from a car after injuring their chest and arm, but they are expected to be okay. Officials said heavy rain in the area for nearly 2 days caused the rocks to crack and collapse on the roadway.
Right, you can kind of tell by the video there that this may be a common occurrence in a smaller level, because they seem to have some protective fencing up there that would probably help in a very small rock fall, or maybe just a few things coming down the side of the mountain there. But that was a huge slide, and that one person very lucky to stop. One got through, and the one stopped just short. So a little bit of luck right there, and some crazy video yet again. We switch from that, and we go a little closer to home there to St. Louis this time. They're cleaning up there. 2 tornadoes in that area. Tragically, 5 people killed in those storms, and dozens were injured. Fox News multimedia reporter Olivia Cummins is in St. Louis, and she had this story.
These tornadoes left a 23-mile trail of destruction, and this church got caught up in that. You can see just piles of rubble in the front. Steeple is caved in. Lots to rebuild in this area, but crews got to work this weekend and families started to recover their items. Some, though, have lost everything. Talked to Carmen Ozier Howard, who says she took cover in the bathroom during the storm. She saw furniture and debris blowing all around her. Her home of many years is destroyed. She says she has no homeowner's insurance and is now trying to hold on to anything she can.
I saw a dresser go out. I just held onto the shower curtain and prayed. It was like being in a movie. I'm just staying in the backyard in my van. People started, when I'm in the van, sleep, vandalizing, stealing the aluminum.
She says she grabbed some essentials from a nearby donation hub. There, people prayed together for the city, hand in hand. In nearby neighborhoods, a similar scene. Homes with no roofs, furniture and mattresses scattered all around, and bricks and wood everywhere. All told, the tornadoes damaged or destroyed more than 5,000 homes. Tens of thousands more still don't have power. Power companies say they'll be working all week to get people online. In the meantime, relief organizations and volunteers are helping the survivors who need food or a place to stay.
Giving out cold water, drinks, tissue, trash bags. So I got that. That's a start. Right now, the city of St. Louis is just torn apart, and we need all of the help.
Missouri governor asking President Trump to declare a disaster here to start getting funding for relief. In the meantime, officials here telling people to be cognizant of severe weather in the forecast this evening. In St. Louis, Missouri, Oliviana Calmes, Fox News.
Yeah, some devastating, situations there, obviously, in a deadly situation. It's also kind of another way to point out that, that myth about tornadoes avoiding big cities, clearly not true. This was right in the heart of St. Louis, hit very, very hard. And our hearts and minds go out to everybody there for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll be back. We've got a lot more coming up in just a bit. We've also got another live pick as Lisa and our driver, Kale, head back safely on some very puddly waters. Look at all the standing water there at the side of the road. You can see the tires making it through pretty nicely, but you definitely have to take care and drive properly for these conditions. Coming up, we're going to take a viewer question. Stick around.
Hi there, everyone. Welcome back to Wisconsin Weather Experts. We have a great viewer question from Raymond in Milwaukee, and that reads, a student in my classroom asked, we know to go to the basement when there is a tornado, but can you give us details on what exactly we should do when we are in the basement? What should we have ready ahead of time?
This is a great question, and we have, I think, a great answer for that. First of all, you should stay in your safe space until you hear the all clear. So
yes.
Step 1 is get there. Step 2 is stay there. There's no need to come out until all clear. Now, to stay there and to know it's all clear, you need to have some kind of communication there. So, obviously bring your cell phone along with, Fox Mobile and the apps and everything else that you can take so that you know what's going on. If you want to keep something there to be very safe, you could also have a portable weather radio there. Have some backup batteries, kind of a go bag, like an emergency go bag. It's also good to put some non-perishable snacks there. If, heaven forbid, you end up trapped there, that can happen. You're in the basement and the house tragically collapsed on top of you. You may not be able to get out for a while. So you want some water, you want some snacks down there, you want those backup batteries, maybe a charging cable and one of those portable battery packs for your cell phone as well. Essentially, you just want to create a little emergency kit that would get you through a couple of days if necessary.
And bonus too, shoes. Try to keep a pair of shoes in the basement, because when you think about, or in your safe spot, if there is debris and you're barefoot, you very well could step on something you don't want to step on.
And you may have to race down there in your sock feet or your slippers, so always good to have something down there. Just go, find yourself a pair at Goodwill or, a cheap pair at one of the department stores and just keep them down there.
Yes.
Leave them there. Don't borrow them just to run an errand. Have that all set. And that's a really, really good point. And a really good question. We really appreciate that.
Yes. Always good to be prepared if you are able to beforehand.
There you go. And always be prepared for any type of weather, including the poor visibility, the wet, puddly roads that we have today. We will keep you up to date on that. We'll, of course, have our next news at 4 o'clock, but we'll have any updates online throughout the day. Thanks for watching Wisconsin Weather Experts.